반갑습니다. 부가퀘스트 유교육제 바로 시작합니다. 위치는 유교육제 찍으면은 바로 나오죠. 주교광장 위쪽이고요. 우리 이쁜 프리실라를 죽인 그 범인을 찾아보도록 합시다.
Well then, ready for a stroll through the sewers?
출발하지.
Ready and intrigued.
You lead.
So, preventive medicine you practice in the sewers. What's that?
자, 그리고 참고로 저번에 무딘검으로 썼었던 기억이 있죠? 그거 바꿔줍니다.
About?
Think. Sewing up drowner victims can grow off. Hear that?
Been hearing it for a while. Draw your weapon.
익사체에 수도 없이 싸웠죠. 하나, 둘, 셋을 돌아가서 이렇게 쓰는 흡술기. 그리고 만두 먹어주고요. 원화 봅시다. 물 할망구도 있네요. 자, 물 할망구 나왔으니까 한번 가보도록 합시다. 부풍, 기름, 푸엔, 이그니. 그냥 싸우면 재미없죠. 항상 이런 식으로 싸우시다 보면 재밌을 겁니다. 일단 기름은 무제한이고요. 주고 가서 입술. 자, 마무리 아주 쉽죠. 1666. 사체들이 쓱 따라가서
Priscilla. How's it look? Give it to me straight. No sugarcoating.
Her wounds will heal, but it's her voice that concerns me. Surely you understand what a terrible blow that would be to a Trobritz. Enough to strip her of the will to live.
Any remedy for that?
I fear only your friend Dandelion can be of help on that count.
이런 잡템 죽지 마세요. 무게만 나갑니다.
Take the ladder.
보지도 않고
This is the place. Come, the quicker we take care of this, the better.
Why? Got somewhere to be?
Someone might disturb us. The coroner, for example. Or Reverend Nathaniel Pastode.
Calluses on the fingers, sawdust in the beard, clothes sticky with sap. Must be our dwarf.
Excellent. I trust you don't grow weak in the knees at the sight of blood.
Not a bit. Start the autopsy.
Where?
Let's look at his head. Hair smells like it's burnt, like he was in a fire.
Notice anything else? That his eyes have been scooped out, for instance?
Those burn marks I see in his eye sockets.
Yes. And some grey dust. Ash, it seems. Very fine.
Murderer gouged out his eyes, then put burning coals in the sockets.
So it seems. Looking at the wounds, it appears our woodcarver was still alive when it happened.
Let's examine the mouth. Burns, blisters.
Just like Priscilla's.
See this? Incision made into the voice box.
Indeed, so thin as to be nearly unnoticeable.
A small, extremely sharp instrument. Scalpel.
But why? The wound is too small to bleed, and there are signs of swelling. The murderer... I believe he performed a tracheotomy, so the victim wouldn't die too soon.
Let's examine his torso.
What have we here? Deep wound on the left side of his rib cage. and a scar the length of his stomach.
Let's examine the chest wound. Yeah, heart carved out, wound cauterized.
Wait a minute, there's something else.
An egg from an amphibian. A salamander? Scorched but intact.
I attended some lectures in herpetology as a student. Afraid I don't recall any amphibians that would lay eggs in corpses. So either Professor Cochrane was deeply mistaken, or this is our murderer's doing.
Look at the scar. Wounds long and thin, an incision. But the edges are ragged.
Means nothing. Look, no swelling, no bruises. An old injury, perhaps an accident in the workplace.
Open the abdominal cavity.
Due warning, it will stink of rot.
Once fought a Zoogle up to my waist in sewage, so I doubt... Wait. Smells not rot.
Formaldehyde. A medical novelty. Heavily diluted, it's remarkable at preserving organic tissue. In stronger proportions, it's more destructive than acid.
Explains why there's no smell of decay, and why his throat's scalded. Look at his hands. These welts. Rope burns, right? He was tied up.
I'd expect so. No one could sit through such torture unless bound.
Speaking from experience.
Yes, that of a victim. Spent a year in the dungeons of Tretogor. Long story.
Some other time, maybe. See the callus? Our dwarf wore a ring, but someone took it off him. See anything interesting on his legs?
His right foot. The ankle swollen, toenails broken. He clearly kicked something very hard. Right before he kicked the bucket.
Doesn't strike me as the right time for jokes.
Apologies. We surgeons, we've a different sensibility.
And a different sense of humor. His genitals. We ought to inspect those.
I sincerely doubt they bear any relation to the matter.
We'll see. Pull down his trousers and... shit.
Syphilis, actually. Early stages. No sign of diffusion.
Think there could be a connection?
Only as the killer's potential motivation.
All right. Think I know enough.
Enlighten me, please, because I've still no notion what this is about. What the motive might have been.
No motive to speak of. Murderer's mad, plain and simple.
Unfortunate. Such individuals are hardest to catch.
It's a lead worth following. Any idea what his name was?
Fabian Meyer. And I'm Hubert Reich, the coroner. I've come to perform the autopsy, but I see you've done it for me, Joachim. As always, you interfere where you're neither needed nor wanted. Drag others into trouble in the process. Who is this?
A student. Lifelong learner. Got a couple questions for you.
Very well, speak. But be quick. Reverend Nathaniel has come by for an inspection. He'll be here shortly.
Woodcarver's body. Where was it found? It's important.
Plan to investigate? Exciting. He died in his workshop south of the market square, just beside the gate to Far Corners. That poor Trebirates was attacked there. City's abuzz about it. But the woodcarver, Eustace the corpse collector, brought us the body. You should speak to him. Saw him just around the corner near... Oh, greetings, Your Reverence.
Who are these people? I believe I made it clear no one's to be allowed in under any circumstances.
You did, but they're friends of the deceased. Here to collect the body.
Out of the question. Show them out at once.
As Your Reverence wishes. Gentlemen, follow me. You shall leave via another route.
Why'd you cover for us?
I was covering my own arse. If Reverend Nathaniel had learned someone had entered the morgue, then cut open a corpse without his permission, I'd be in deep trouble. But you didn't give that a thought, did you, Joachim? As ever. Well, while I don't approve of your willfulness, I also wish to see this murderer hang. So, should I learn anything new related to this case, I will let you know.
Thank you.
Might have told me you know the coroner. We could have skipped the trip through the sewers.
I know him, thus I avoid him. I've said enough on the subject.
Don't aim to press you.
Thank you. I've nothing to hide. It's just an old wound, unhealed as yet. What will you do now?
Plenty of leads. Woodcarver's workshop, the corpse collector who found him, alley where Priscilla was attacked. Got work to do.
As do I. At the hospital. I must return there. But I shall keep my fingers crossed.
And I'll keep my eye on you.
Sick of it all.
아, 하나씩 해보도록 합시다. 굉장히 기분이 다운되는 미션이네요.
First they killed my son, now they'll
Bloody
throw
bandits! Can't go out in the streets no more!
At least before they didn't.
You Eustace, the corpse collector?
Aye? How'd you know?
Fourth sense, I think it is. You bring Fabian Meyer's body to the morgue?
Oh, yeah, I remember. No ice, no art, one of them, right? No purse neither, as I recall.
You search Fabian's body?
Well, I cast an eye in his pockets, made sure nothing went to waste.
I call a spade a spade. You rob corpses.
And I call a prick a prick. It's none of your fucking concern. What, you tax collector? Piss off, mutant.
Talk. What did you find on him?
I as you wish. Triflings, baubles, gloss-beaded ring, handful of coins, and a letter. Look, vellum, quality parchment that. I'll wipe off the writing and sell it as new.
That's human skin. Priscilla. Next victim's name. If you'd given this to the right person, she might not have been hurt.
What the fuck do I care what happens to some Priscilla? We short of wenches in this town. Oi, fucking hell! What was that for?
For everything.
The black ones are tracing
Oh,
gorillas
Lydia
round
Clark,
the
what
Kedwin
happened
Woods.
here?
Overgrown.
Monsters must have run him down.
Arms for the poor.
Time will fly.
They say some witches spy for the black ones.
Washed your hair lately?
Ah.
Come closer. Don't be shy. You'll find I've everything this heaven.
Anyone home?
Be gone, or I'll sick me hounds on ye. Molly, Striga, come!
Relax. I'm here about Fabian Meyer, looking for his killer.
That's altogether different. Sit, you stupid mutts, lie down. Come on, go on then. Slowly now, lest they bite you.
So who might you be?
The Stiff's brother. Gus is the name. We ran a workshop together. Meyer and Meyer.
What'll it be now? Just Meyer?
Name it. I'll be closing it down now. As soon as I find a buyer for this shack, I'll head on to Mahakam. Be near my family or what's left of it. So, what do you want to know? What can I tell you about Fabian?
Tell me what you know about the murder, in order, in detail.
It was like this. Had some work in Oxenfurt, and I was coming home. Saw a plume of smoke rising over the city. Thought to myself, blast it, gonna miss and burn another hag. But the smoke wasn't coming from Hierarch Square. It was coming from here. See the soot stains? That's where they burned our sculptures. Folk gathered round the blaze and found Fabian here beside it. They'd already loaded him on the cart by the time I arrived.
Talk to your neighbors. They see anything suspicious beforehand? Hear anything?
Claim not to. But even if they had, they'd not have helped. In Novigrad, folk give bleeding orphans in the street a wide berth so as not to stain their poor lanes. What do they care about some dwarf?
Your brother have any enemies? Anyone dislike him? Threaten him, maybe?
Nay. 'Twas Fabian who threatened this one last. Oh, you were a good dwarf, craftsman like no other. But you were an incorrigible whoremonger as well. Whenever we put a bit of coin aside, I'd say, let's buy some tools, quality timber. No, he grabbed the purse and head out whoring. Took to following one in particular. He'd say, "'Tis all your fault, dirty bitch, human dish rag," and other obscenities. Don't rightly know what that was about. Maybe he was in love with her.
Know where I can find her? This dish rag?
City cemetery. She died a few days back, quietly in her sleep. Her pont said a fever took her.
Fine, we've talked enough. Need to look around.
Be my guest. Just beware of the dogs.
Statues of the old gods. Nothing but women. Shapely ones. Statues of the old gods. Nothing but women. Something had dragged something across the floor. Statues. Or dragged it from one wall to the other, repeatedly. Mind if I go inside the workshop?
I've not even peeked inside since they found Fabian. But I'll open it for you if you want.
More bloodstains, but not near enough to say he bled to death. Unless somebody got rid of the blood. Humanoid, left a few stains behind. Furniture got knocked over. This looks like it was kicked. Formaldehyde. Doubt Fabian used it. Nothing interesting.
Aye.
Already know what happened. Fabian was in the workshop. Murderer attacked him there. They struggled. Fabian was overpowered, then tortured. For a time.
I needn't know the details. Truth be told, I hadn't the stomach for him.
When it was over, the murderer dragged Fabian to the courtyard, then made a pyre of sculptures, set them aflame.
But why? Why do all that?
To teach a lesson. To him, you, the whole city. Had a look at your sculptures.
And? Lifelike, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. The women especially. Never seen a bust that size on Melitele.
Oh, aye. Fabian's handiwork. I told him, brother, tits like that will crush her back. Whittle them down. He said, nay, they'd sell better this way. Told me to shut me trap. And sell they did. Till one sermon at the temple, and the celebrating reverend said that whoso buys idols from the non-human Myers sins twofold, as a heretic and as a lecher. That was the end of that.
Fine, we've talked enough. Won't learn anything else here. Take care.
살인자네 굉장히 잔인한 놈이네요.
Non-human, are you? Look for your kind beyond the walls.
Oi, Witcher! Coroner wants to see you. Been another victim. Told me to say the main door will be open for you. You're to come as soon as you can.
Folk in this city, racial hygiene's as poor as their personal hygiene. Double says. Awful pale.
Hey, handsome.
You scared?
A brazier. This time of year? I know that smell.
Sis.
Formaldehyde.
That him.
How am I to know? Watch him, see what he does.
Any last words?
Help me! Come on now! Kill the whole setup! No! Bloody hell!
Think you'll gut me too, huh? Up your ass, deviant! Hoes can fight back!
Calm down, I'm not gonna hurt you. What are you doing here?
Getting vengeance. Well, why are you staring? Have you not heard killers always return to the scene of their crime? Me and my brothers are waiting here to give him a warm welcome. For Priscilla. Almost did her in, the whole son.
I know. Here to look for clues and find anyone who might know something.
Fear I can't help you much. But I can tell you what I know.
You and Priscilla friends?
Friends? Nah. But she saw more than a stupid whore in me. Treated me with respect. It mattered. I was looking to give up whoring. Pick up a decent trade. But none would take me. Not as a washerwoman, nor a servant, nor a cook. Felt like a leper, I did. But Priscilla, she was different. Agreed to put me in her play, you see? Lots of the other actors, they were afraid on account of her jesting about the eternal fire. Whistling Wendy on stage, can you imagine it? Well, dream's gone now. I'm back to working street corners.
Sorry to hear that.
You could do worse as work goes. Or so I tell myself.
Take care now. I gotta look around some more. Appreciate it if you didn't disturb me.
Naturally, we'll stand aside, behave. But do tell us if you find anything else here.
Oh, my head's ringing.
Human. Priscilla's. Man's footprint. The murderer's, maybe. Weight on his heel. Took a step back.
How'd it go with this healer?
Fresh needy nights. What do I gotta do to get a lovely pallor like yours?
Why is your hair so grey, darling?
Everyone knows you got a quiver on your back, not so.
Welcome, Master Witcher.
Geralt, right? I'm glad you're here. Held off on the autopsy till you arrived.
Nice of you, especially given you didn't seem pleased about my previous visit.
Because you came unannounced and in unfortunate company. I also had Reverend Nathaniel to contend with. Our spiritual caretaker has left the city on some important matter, and I know who you are, what drives you. I'm more than happy to aid your investigation.
Let's start.
Gladly. The wounds conform to the killer's modus operandi. The victim was bound and forced to drink formaldehyde. Next, the killer removed the eyes, placed burning coals in the sockets, then opened the rib cage and... What's this? A parchment. Made of human skin.
A message from the murderer. The name of his next victim. Patricia Vegelbud.
Gods, he knows no bounds. To attack Lady Vegelbud, heiress of such a prominent family.
Where is she? Tell me.
She resides in an estate beyond the city, north of Oxenford.
Gotta find her, now.
Till next time, Master. Ow!
Oh! What? Got a problem?
Let's drink for it's nearly night.
이유는 모르겠는데 로치가 불러지질 않네요.
What's your hair lately? What do you want?
Need to talk to Patricia Vegelbud.
You think any bum off the street can...
Her life's in danger. Let me in or have her blood on your hands.
If you thought this up, and I'll let you in, I'll throw my arse out the door.
Always thought a guard was supposed to protect his charge, not his ass.
So be it. I'll take you to Lady Vegelbud. Just no trickery. Understand?
Yes, good fellow? If it's work you seek.
Don't know that I'm all that good. Name's Geralt. Looking for Patricia Vegelbud. Her life's in danger.
In danger? Come now. I saw Mother this morning. She seemed sad, true, but in perfect health.
I'm hunting a serial killer, and I've got reason to believe your mother will be his next victim.
Why, even if it's true, our guards.
He's exceptionally cruel when he kills, tortures his victims, cuts out their hearts. So let's see how she is, just in case.
I find this all very hard to believe, but you appear to be quite serious. Please, follow me.
A fire fit for Bellatane, except it's the wrong time of year.
I mentioned Mother seemed sad. Do you remember? In fact, she's in the midst of a crisis of faith. A rather serious one. We'd been to Novigrad. Mother had seen the pyres in Hierarch Square, uttered not a word on our way home. She had all the holy books, insignias, reliquaries gathered, taken outside and burnt. Then she locked herself in her room.
We need to hurry.
Hear that? Calm and quiet. All seems to be in order.
We should go in, just to be sure.
You're relentless, aren't you? Fine. But wait here, please. Mother's certainly not in the mood for guests.
He ran out the other door! Catch him!
Spread out! Murderer's still here! There he is! Get him! Halt! For I put a bolt between your eyes!
Listen, you got the wrong guy.
Save your trickery! Taking you to the heiress!
Well, killer's already escaped. Lead the way, hero.
We got him, Lady Ingrid. Wasn't easy, but...
Lower that crossbow before you hurt yourself. This man is innocent.
Forgive me. I saw him running. Thought it was the killer fleeing.
I was chasing him, and I'd have caught him if you hadn't gotten in my way.
Out of my sight, at once! Mother! Why did he do this to her? Why?
Because she blasphemed the eternal fire. Only thing that ties her to the other victims. Ingrid, I know this is a hard time for you, but usually the killer leaves a note on the body. A note indicating his next victim. May I?
Very well. But you should be on your own. I do not wish to see her in this state. I do not wish to remember her like that. And let her be the last victim. Please.
Bruises, broken fingernails. She defended herself. Must be why it took him longer, and why he almost got caught. Here it is. Sweet Nettie, crippled Kate's. Growing bolder, not just the name but the place too. Won't get away this time. Same wounds as the previous victims. Examination would be a waste of time. Gotta get to crippled Kate's, fast. Another empty formaldehyde bottle.
아, 이번에는 빨리 네티를 보러 갑시다.
Properly laundered, or go to the fountain again?
Taxes just to have that swamp wandering the city. What you can buy today.
is she?
Upstairs. But she's with a very important client. Do not disturb them.
Can see it in your face.
귀여운 이름이 귀여운 니티네요. 귀여운 니티에게 갑시다. 어딨죠? 한층 위에 있네요.
No one will hear you, bitch. Not a soul.
You, though? Whole town will hear you in a minute.
Yet again you disturb me, and I so dislike being disturbed. I was to play with sweet Nettie, render her not so sweet, but I shall see to you first.
First, gotta tell me why you do it.
For pleasure. Satisfaction.
Achievable with whores in a lot of ways, many traditional. Doesn't take killing them, trust me.
Who said anything about killing? I could stop at a few burns. 3rd degree, but still. This rosy skin will roast quite well.
Spare me your lies. I've seen your victims, I know how they end. You don't stop, not unless someone gets in your way. Like I'm doing now.
What the fuck are you on about?
Murder. You killed Fabian Meyer, Patricia Vegelbud, and many others.
Bollocks. You're mistaken, vagrant.
Found a message on Patricia's body. Led me here to crippled Kate's. To sweet Nettie. If you didn't leave it, who did?
I don't know. But I see we must talk. Calmly.
Who knew you'd be here?
Strangely enough, I don't announce these outings far and wide. There's but one man who... That's impossible. He treats even corpses with kid gloves.
The coroner. Said you were busy, that you wouldn't visit the morgue. Gotta go after him.
Go. But to Warehouse 12 at the docks. He's there this time of day procuring supplies. Formaldehyde. I shall stay here. I've unfinished business with sweet Nettie. After all, I paid in advance.
You'll untie her, drop your coin pouch on the table, then leave here and never come back.
Yes, I will.
Good boy.
이 녀석을 죽여버리면 무기가 나오기도 하는데요. 저는 그냥 살려줬습니다. 자, 만약에 제가 골랐던 선택지대로 하지 않으면은 이 사제를 죽이고 나중에 또 계속해서 살인이 반복이 됩니다. 진범이 나다니엘한테 덮어 씌우려는 수작이었겠죠. 자, 이번에 진정한 범인을 잡으러 항구 근처의 창고로 가보도록 합시다. 내려가는 길이 어디야? 사제라는 놈이 저러고 다니니 참.
Snake hole. Got a snake to carry go.
No. Oh, fuck, don't write it. Double shades.
Oh, you make a fine sailor.
Run out of formaldehyde?
I underestimated you. You almost caught me in flagrante delicto. Now you've seen through my bluff with Nathaniel. Although, you've not divined all, I see. Had you, you would have drawn your silver sword.
Who, what are you?
A vampire. Higher, of course.
Got a reason for killing? A reason to torture?
I thought you'd figure that out as well. The symbolism's rather obvious. Coals for those who are blind to the fire. The egg of a salamander born of fire to replace their cold, doubting hearts. Fire down the throat that...
Yeah, symbolism's clear. What's not is why a vampire would kill in the name of the eternal fire.
should be equally obvious. I concur with the Church's diagnosis. Novigrad is a fallen city. Its population amnesiacs to the very concepts of decency and morality. So I decided to remind them, in a manner they'd be certain to notice.
There are other ways. Could have set up a soapbox in Hierarch Square, preached from it.
How funny. That's exactly what I did. But none listened. Instead they laughed, threw stones. Give a thought to my victims. A lecherous woodcarver who'd spend his last copper on whores. An old countess who defiled symbols of the faith. A Trebirates for whom nothing was sacred, nothing above ridicule. They did not deserve to live. But their deaths could be a lesson to others. Awaken them, scare them onto the correct path, the path to the fire, to cleansing, to salvation. For you, I'm afraid it's too late. You are a man of little faith. I sense this.
But I'm pretty good with a sword.
Pretty good. Might remember cut.
자, 봅시다. 뱀파이어로 펴는데요. 이거는 카타칸입니다. 어디 봅시다. 뱀파이어, 카타칸, 달가루, 먼지버섯, 뱀파이어 기름 이렇게 쓰라고 하네요. 그렇다면 뱀파이어 기름을 발라주고 메티륨, 가루, 먼지버섯. 달가루는 변신하기 못하게 하고요. 먼지버섯은 독구름을 방출합니다. 자, 그러면 어디 한번 먼지버섯부터 써보고요. 달가루로 당하지 못하겠죠? 여기서 벼락을 쓰고 짚어서 휩쓸기 해주고 잘 쓰기 때문에 자, 다시 한번 달가루. 아이고, 이상하네요. 자, 빠질 수 있습니다. 어이구, 너무 아프다. 자, 제비 쓰고 최대한 벗어나 있다가 체력을 채우고 있습니다. 아까 이르덴이랑 이그니가 있었죠. 그리고 자, 맞다이 자, 이르덴 안에 있으니 자, 벼락 섞고 맞다이 다시 속도가 너무 없네요. 자, 뚝배기 마지막 카타칸 직화구이로 마무리하겠습니다. 끝. 죽기. 디어그레이스 변이인자. 자, 이렇게 카타칸 싸움 마무리했고요. 영상 한번 해서 곡성과 포션들을 다시 채워줍니다. 그리고 어디 한번 뭐가 나왔는지 볼까요? 휴. 은검, 냉기 빈결이라는 확실한 데이스웬. 은검인데 인간형 상대 해운체크드. 깡댐도 났고 랩제도 났고요. 필요 없네요. 자, 마무리로 이제 우리 불쌍한 프리실라에게 한번 가봅시다. 프리실라야. 이터널 파이어를 욕되게 했다고 사람을 죽이고 다니고 아주 불러먹었습니다. 여러분도 잘못된 신앙을 조심하도록 합시다.
How's...
Better, right?
Yes.
Did you take care of what I asked?
Yeah. The Witcher's way.
Thank you, Geralt. From me and Priscilla.
Did my part. Your turn now. Take care of her. Good care.
I will. You'll see. Treat her better than the Dryads of Brokilon could.
She's talking again. Nice surprise.
Isn't it? Professor Von Gratz told me her wounds are healing faster than a troll's. Not the most flattering comparison, but encouraging. Maybe she might even sing again someday. For now, we'll try performing as a duo. She'll play the lute, I'll sing. Dandelion and Calinetta. Got a nice ring to it, doesn't it?
Sounds great. Good luck, Dandelion. On stage and off.
자, 참 슬프고도 길었던 유격제 퀘스트는 이렇게 마무리가 되었습니다. 프리실라는 나중에 우선은 본편 내에서는 계속 저렇게 남아 있습니다. 단델라이온이 잘 해야겠죠. 그리고
Yes, Geralt?
펑 그리츠에게 말을 걸면은 샤니에게 물어볼 수
Know
있는데요.
another surgeon from Oxenford Academy. Her name's Shawnee. Know her? Red hair, cropped short, freckles.
And a hopeless idealist. Naturally, I know her. She was my assistant for a year.
Any idea where she is now?
My gut tells me she's somewhere along the front, patching up pikemen. I told her it would be futile. In the time she saved 100 lives, another 1,000 would be lost. But medics with a mission, you can't argue with them.
Farewell.
퀘스트는 여기까지입니다. 시청해주셔서 감사합니다. 다른 남은 부와 퀘스트들로 찾아뵙겠습니다.